the bolts for the back of the transfer case here foul on the inside of the adapter plate, so I've had to pick up these like button head, cap head Allen key screws. Looks pretty damn nice. I'm just taking a look at how I'm going to hook up the shifter. I've got this bad boy, which is from a from an RE5 auto, which came in the TB45. It only has park, reverse, neutral and drive, which I'm okay with because it has the Tiptronic and I'm running a CompuShift, so I should be able to use that. The RE4 doesn't have drive 321, it only has drive 21. So the original shifter would kind of not match anyway. I could run an aftermarket shifter, but if I could get this to work, I think that would be quite nice. So I'm just looking at the shifter arrangement. That's park all the way back, reverse, neutral, drive 321. And this is the shifter linkage of the RE4, which normally is on this side, but that's not on there. It's about the same position and length and everything. That was easy. So I've cut these humps off the gearbox that support the old RE4. And I've filled in the gaps with these plates. Look, welders, you are not welcome to comment on my video. My welding is very good. Look, just look at that bit there. Look at the stacked dimes. That is mint. Get it? Don't look there. Don't look there. That's mint. That's fucking mint. Just cleaning up the threads of the crossmember mount bolt holes. The threads. That was the technical term. Alright, I've lifted the gearbox into the tunnel through the hole in the floor using the hoist. I'll put the crossmember in, which I've modified, and the new mount is on the gearbox, but it's not welded to the crossmember and I don't know the position yet because I haven't got the engine in. Kind of a rough way to do things, but to do it here in this little garage, that's kind of the way I've got to do it. So see how we go. These are spot welds, 3 of them there. These are the ones that I've drilled out. So I'm going to drill these ones out, same as on the other side. Then I'll be able to remove this battery tray. So the battery's not going to be on the driver's side. I'm going to put the airbox there. I guess I've decided that. Snorkel on the driver's side because the turbo will sit about here. So it makes sense to have it here. Battery can go on this side, there's not going to be anything else there. And I've also pulled the loom sort of not quite out, but out of the way. It's up over there. Taken a lot of the extra vacuum lines and AC lines and junk out of the engine bay that I'm either not going to need or I'm going to need to get redone anyway. So it's getting a bit spacious here now. Some gasket in place, A little bit of gasket goo on the joins up there. Starter motor has to go on later because that there is the access from this side for the torque converter bolts. Right now I've got the factory Dodge engine mounts on it. As you can see, the passenger side one sticks out quite far, while the driver's side one is nice and compact. So I think I'm going to have to change that. Well, I'm definitely going to have to change that because the centre of the engine is over to the driver's side as it is, and that's going to foul on the chassis rail. So I have this mount, which looks to be the same as the driver's side one. Well, it is the driver's side one, but I think off a two-wheel drive or off a four-wheel drive, the opposite to whatever this is, the mounts are slightly different. So just in the middle of doing the engine mounts, they're sort of tacked in. I need to fix them up a bit. This one needs adjustment, so I'm going to bang that off with a hammer, do some grinding. And just in the meantime, I'm going to fire this beast up again. So I'm going to get the engine stand back out, put it back on, and I'm going to check a few things. I'm going to make sure the P-pump has oil pressure. I'm going to put the turbo and exhaust manifold on, and I'm going to torque up a number of things. The bolts for the flex plate need to be torqued. Sorted that guy out, and make sure there's no oil leaks. Try and run it up. I might put some water in it, see if I can loop coolant outlet just onto the inlet and even run it up to temperature. That might be too difficult. I don't think I have hoses that will be the right size. So I'll have a look, see how I go. And yeah, see if there's any oil leaks or anything else I need to fix, because once it's in the car, that's all going to be a pain in the ass to fix. So I'll do it. The old exhaust manifold off the 6BT is kind of a rusty hunk of junk, so I've got this nice billet steel steed speed manifold here. Forgot I had a sheared stud in the rear port here. I don't think this is working somehow. filter cartridge has a new O-ring there and there, and there's an O-ring there which I also need to change, which it comes with. Right, I'm pretty much ready to try and start this again. Turbo's on, ready to go. I've got the oil feed pointing to a bucket so I know when I've got oil pressure. I also need to take this line off down here and make sure that I've got oil pressure at the P-pump, because I wasn't sure about that. That line was dry when I took it off before. Got fuel hooked up. Tried priming but it's not really worked, so I'm just going to crank it for a bit and see if that does it. Everything else I think is pretty ready to go. I've talked out the bolts on the back. Starter motor's on. That's a ZD30 starter. So small on this engine. See how it goes. These three lines here are cracked, so no fuel just yet. I'll do them up once fuel comes out, and it should be a bit easier to start that way. It looked to me like it was trying to start. It's just not ideal. I'll crack all of the injector lines just to make sure, and then try that again. No oil pressure yet. That's worrying. Wonder what I need to do about that. Alright, I removed that little bung, pumped oil in there. It took quite a lot. I think that sort of goes down through the cooler to the oil pump. Hopefully that's enough to prime it, we'll see. Doing what I want. Still nothing. I just could not get oil pressure, so I've taken the engine apart and filled the oil pump with oil. It was like empty all the way down to the pickup. So yeah, filled that all with oil. It seems to have stayed full. I put the pump in. I'm just about to put the cover back on, and hopefully now we'll get oil pressure. It's yeah, I didn't think it would be this tricky. Sort of thought you'd just crank it for a bit and it should be right, but apparently not. There you have it, guys. I'll put on a bit of a smoke show here. The engine runs. It's all good. I have, unfortunately, there is that little return banjo screw right there. There's the thread in the injector itself is stripped out. It's not the banjo screw, so not entirely sure what I'm going to do about that. I'm probably going to have to get another injector or tap a new thread in it or something, so that's a bit daunting. But at least it's running, it has good oil pressure and everything else. So I'll finish off welding the engine mounts and then put it in and start it up and see if everything works. Stay tuned.